Hey guys, before we dive into our talk, I'd like to conduct a little social experiment. Who here has ever heard of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet? Please raise your hand if you have. Okay, great. Now, next question. Who here knows who this man is? Come on, raise your hands. We've all seen a picture of Luis Miguel. You know who he is. Great. And now, lastly, who here has ever seen a Disney movie? Show of hands? Okay, great. As I expected, pretty much everyone in this room has ever seen a Disney movie. Because the ones that didn't raise their hand are still trying to block the memories out from The Lion King when Mufasa died. Don't worry guys, I'm still mourning too. I understand how you feel. Now, all of these things have something in common. They are related to the magic and expression of art. Some are music and poetry or dancing and lyrics, but we humans have been mastering and perfecting art for thousands and thousands of decades. If you think about the way that ancient people communicated, that ancient people communicated, we can picture the famous cave paintings from our ancestors. And as humans, we have this little tendency, or we have this compulsive need, to find ways to actually live beyond our lives. And now, I am 100% sure that no one actually wants to live forever. But, I mean, can you imagine living forever? It'd be like being a vampire. Me, personally, after 1 millennia or two, I'd get pretty bored at it. And I don't think any of you wants to live forever either, right? But, nonetheless, when my time comes and when your time comes, I'm pretty sure we're both gonna become a little upset or a little obsessed with the idea of being forgotten. Why do you think so many people want to be famous anyway? In our own way, we are all artists. It doesn't matter if you say that you can't dance, and it doesn't matter if you say that you suck at drawing. To be an artist and to be creative is much more than a good thing to have when your next poster project is due on school. To be an artist, the only thing you really need is yourself, and not any of that fancy equipment you think you need to start your progress. The art of creativity and the art of creating is everything from painting a Van Gogh masterpiece to taking a silly picture of your dog. Art is so many simple things. But if there's something that art is not, it's something easy. Now, there is this discussion going around on the internet on whether AI art and how it actually makes it accessible to everyone who is not an artist, quote unquote, because everyone is an artist, they just don't realize it. But in this discussion is where I draw a line. The fact that art is something associated with time and effort and work does not mean that art isn't accessible. I mean, Mozart, look at that guy. He was freaking deaf, and he was a master at perfecting music. And yes, when you don't have to worry about what you're gonna eat tomorrow, or how you're gonna pay your bills, the human mind tends to stray to art. But this isn't a way to say that art is not a future, or that art isn't accessible to anyone who doesn't have a lot of money. This is a way to demonstrate that our society breaks down everything that makes us unique and that makes us human. But yes, I know, you don't have to tell me. Unfortunately, everyone is an artist until rent is due. And now, a recent uproar of this new technology called an AI chatbox has been seen all over the world. Artificial intelligence, or AI as some people abbreviate it because it's a long word, refers to the capability of a machine or a system to try to recreate what our minds do every single day and perform tasks that are typically associated with humans. For example, we as humans are associated with intelligence and learning and researching or problem solving, but etc., etc. And okay, before anyone gets the wrong idea from this talk, loud announcement. The purpose of this talk is not to dunk on AI. AI is wonderful. It's got a world of possibilities we don't even know. I mean, this new technology presents to all mankind something amazing. For example, there is this case study going around that very recently we got some very good news about AI because AI is actually trying to research how to cure cancer. There's a group of scientists that are trying to use AI to make a system or an algorithm that can prove that different cancer cells respond differently to different treatments. And With an algorithm, we could prove how to make a cure for each and every single one instead of attacking with radiation, which is extremely, hard on every single cell, not just the cancerous one. And this eradicates the trial and error that comes with working in a lab, especially in a human lab. So it is pretty cool. And yes, we've all seen the uses and headlines about AI, both the good and the bad. Regardless of what you think about it, no one can dispute that AI is here to stay, and businesses of all sizes have found great benefits from using AI. And consumers all around the world have gotten accustomed to using it every single day of their lives. For example, school people and ChatGPT, they pretty much use it for everything. It's just perfect in every single way. It eradicates human error. It doesn't have to work or sleep or eat. But don't you think it's also a little too perfect? Now, I'm a firm believer that to be good at something, you have to be open to the idea that you must suck at it first. Embarrassment is the price of entry to being great at something. I mean, no one can jump from being a beginner to being an absolute pro without some bumps in the road. You have to make errors. You have to fall down, you have to scrape your knees, and you have to practice. And then you have to get up, dust yourself off, and keep going. And art and creativity is much more of the same thing. Now, whether an algorithm or not can be described as creative or an artist, quote unquote, like a human, is still up for debate. AI's understanding of how art comes to humans is where it gets a little tricky, because AI learns on itself, but it also learns on humans. What AI does is that it looks up, quote unquote, art on the internet, and it finds out everything it can about it, and it smooshes it all together and tries to recreate it based on what other artists post around on the internet, and it duplicates it based on what you ask it to do. But what truly distinguishes the creativity of a human against an AI or a machine is that no system or no robot is driven to express itself, much less creatively. It's prompted by a human. It's prompted by the intention of someone. AI would never make a piece of art if a human didn't tell it to make a piece of art. So this means that artists all over the world shouldn't be losing their jobs and their lives because of some big corporation that wants to save up a little money on their salaries and instead decides to fire them and use AI to replace everything that makes their art unique and instead copy and paste every single work that they already have. Art should be wild and free and unpredictable. Art should be difficult and painful and stressful. But art should also be easy and simple and happiness. Art is supposed to comfort the disturbed, and it's also supposed to disturb the comfortable. That is a quote I like very, very much. And I'm sure everyone wants to be an artist inside, but unfortunately, all of our energy is being used in staying alive, but this is not living. If you can't make art, you are not making anything. So, I guess what I want to say before I finish this talk is, please, practice any kind of art. Whatever kind of art you'd like. Maybe try painting or playing an instrument. Maybe sculpting or writing poems and lyrics. Maybe try dancing and jumping or sporting or cooking. Anything, really anything that makes you feel alive, that makes your soul grow. But don't do this just to gain fame. Or do not do this just to gain money. Don't do it not even to be better at it than everyone else. Just do it for you. Do it to experience becoming. Do it to know what it's like to be a human. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.